That looks like it's gonna work. Eventually, patience. Today is a day for patience. Allowing things to happen in their time because we seem to be unable to force things to happen. So I thought today we'd actually do some pranayama, some Nadi Shodhana, which is also known as alternate nostril breathing. So I'm going to take my right hand, and I don't know why your fingers are supposed to do this, the mudra this way, but you're going to close off your right nostril and then inhale through your left nostril. And then you close off your left nostril and exhale through the right nostril. And then you inhale through the right nostril and exhale through the left. Inhaling through the left, exhaling through the right. So that's the basic part of it, just this switching back and forth. So whichever nostril you inhaled into, you're exhaling out the other nostril. But we're going to add something else to it. And I am not going to say the counts that you should do, because I feel like it's really up to you of what feels good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with an inhale of a 4-count inhale, a 6-count hold, a 6-count exhale, and a 6-count hold, which maybe is too much. So really do whatever feels good to you. And you can add like the sort of box breathing if that feels good, or even it could be 4, 4, 4, and 4, however you want to do it. So really listening into your own body. If this is brand new to you, just inhale through one or nostril and exhale through the other. Maybe don't do the counting, but if you're used to doing it, add whatever exciting things you want to add. We'll do this for a couple of minutes. Eyes open or closed. Letting yourself end it on your left, on that left exhale, whenever you're ready. And we're going to switch. We're going to do a few different other breathwork practices. So the next one we'll do is humming. You can always take a resting breath. Your hum doesn't have to last forever. But while you are in the hum, allow your tongue to move around inside your mouth, which might change where you feel the resonance and vibration. So with my awareness and with the movement of my tongue, I can really sort of shift around where I am aware of the vibration happening in my face. So that is an invitation to play with. If you keep your tongue kind of still, you could just listen to the sound also, and that would still be beneficial. So however it works, whatever feels interesting to you, feel free to play with that, but just allow this like micro movement or sort of, I want to say like jellyfish like movement of the tongue so that there's some freedom in the tongue as you play with the exhale. Take resting breaths whenever you need them. This isn't the goal to make you have the longest exhale in the universe, just with whatever feels comfortable. Try to make sure to inhale back through your nose so you get that nitric oxide really into your blood system again. That's being produced in the little turbines in your nose as you hum. Allow any micro movement that wants to bubble up anywhere in your body, just giving yourself full permission to move if that feels good. Almost as if your body is suspended or you're suspended within the fluidness of your body, right? We've got the skin container inside of that where there's a lot of fluid. So let yourself suspend. Your nervous system can be just hanging in there. If you feel particularly ungrounded, then think of having your feet connected to the floor or your butt connected to the floor so that the suspension is a feeling of ease, not a feeling of disconnection. Allowing your awareness to really land in your body so that you're noticing whatever sensations are arising, not needing to change them, but it's like you're following the curious path, the meandering path of fluid movement, of sound, of vibration, or it even could be the sound outside of yourself. If it feels interesting, allow your head to sort of float up there, that occipital joint, cranium on top, the axis and the atlas. It's like there's one notch going up and your cranium is hanging suspended on that little notch of your top of your spine. So letting yourself find that and seeing if you can find some ease, relaxing the neck, the tongue, the throat. And almost as if your head is, well, suspended on top of your spine, but not that it's dropping down into your body. Just there's a sense of the rebound from gravity in your body. So there's like the connection to the earth, but then there's also a rise away from it. It's happening in your pattern if you're seated or standing. And if you feel like laying down anytime, feel free to lay down for this. So we're going to take the next layer of breath to a breath called the well, let's do theta breath, which is the soft hiss first. If you're interested in something else or something else is coming along that you're following, feel free to do that. If it feels okay to go into theta, adding the theta breath, a soft release from your tongue. So easy, gentle softening. Allowing that gentle release of air to just relax your body, letting like all the tension sort of diffuse away like a mist as you're in that kind of a weird thing, but like cloud just clearing out of your body so you can become more relaxed every breath. And if anything feels like a big effort that you have to try really hard, just let go of that. Don't do it. Let yourself be, let anything that's happening be effortless, like the easiest thing, movement happening or not happening, sound happening or not happening, organized breath patterning happening or not patterning or not happening, just allowing your body to really settle into just being a body and either being curious about the experience, bringing your awareness in, noticing, or being playful with it. So it's, oh, what is this? Just coming into that open space of maybe more wonder than knowing, right? Where we can let go of all of our great knowing and go into the unknown a little bit. A couple more times with the theta breath, if that feels okay for you. And then taking it into the lightest, most gentle Luna breath. So Luna breath is a continuum breath. It's almost like a homeopathic distillation of an ujjayi breath, but it only happens on the exhale. And another way to describe it would be like you can hear your exhale inside your head, but you're not clamping down or putting a lot of tension into it. It's just enough that you can hear it in your head. So as if you're saying inside, but you're not saying it with your mouth open. Very spacious in an empty way. Like there, it's so light, it's so easy, it's so nothing that it feels like almost, again, this word diffused, like energy patterns just fall away. Nothing to hold on to in there. It's just about letting go. Anything you're grabbing onto, let it go with that soft, light breath. If that breath feels difficult or like, oh, too heady, switch back to the theta breath. And keep bringing your awareness back to the sensation and the sound of that breath in your body, so that anytime you wander off, you can just come back to use that as a focus object, to use shamatha on that breath. And for me, it was one of the first breaths in the continuum work that allowed me to really bring myself into it and find that sensation. It may be different for you, and every day is sort of a different day in each breath. So enter with a non-judgment, playful attitude. And this breath doesn't have to last very long. You can inhale whenever you need to. It can be very light and easy. So you can think of the breath being deep, deep inside your center, but not huge and voluminous. Allowing yourself to move in micro movement or macro movement, or if you're still, that's fine too. But allowing yourself to not shut down the body, not inhibit the body, but allow your body to kind of move into this natural sense of growing and shrinking that the universe is going through at all times. So it's like you're tuning into that, right? The quick tides of the body, or the continual motion of like the universe as it's just doing its thing. Planets are orbiting, blood is flowing, all the things are happening. But for you, you can rest in it and you can allow it to happen. There's nothing that you have to do, to force, to push, but just allowing the flow of movement or the flow of breath or the flow of life all to just come online in your awareness. Thinking can happen, but just don't give it much attention. The outer world can happen, but you don't have to change anything. I have a very curious little cat who's been really engaged in my outer world this whole time, mostly off camera. As soon as you notice anything becoming effortful or constricted, just let it go. Let it soften. Let it become easy. I am going to add music. So this is Celestial Dolphin. Oh, I have to share sound. This is sort of the most outer space music that I have come across. It's outer space and watery, and maybe questionably music. Let your body move with the sounds. I just turned it on. Inviting in any kind of wave-like or tentacle movement on either the macro, big, or micro movement scale, whatever feels interesting and curious. If you feel yourself sort of holding onto your stories, just see if you can soften that grip a little bit, or holding onto the who you are-ness of being a person in the world or having to do things. Let go of that. See if you can just soften in, becoming curious about what you're noticing, what you're feeling, what's arising. Really taking off the backpack of responsibility, or even backpack of persona. This is who I am. Let go of that. If you notice yourself judging things or trying to make plans, let go of that person as much as you can. Those people come back all the time for me. So it's a regular practice to go, okay, not right now. And just be present in what I'm noticing. If your body starts to have some of the sort of Kriya-like moves, just know that you can also stop that. You can allow it to happen, but it doesn't have to be this big, like volcanic eruption. It can just be as big or small as feels okay and is allowable in your system right now. So certainly most people have stored a lot of things within our nervous systems, within our bodies. So sometimes they start to release. If it feels like it's too much, know that you can always bring yourself back to stillness. You can always bring yourself back to yourself, right? It doesn't suddenly own you. You're just giving some space for freedom to well up within your body. Or free flow is a better way of putting that. Things that you've held on to, maybe you don't need to hold on to them anymore. Maybe you can soften and let go. Maybe you don't even know you're holding on to them until they start to dislodge or reintegrate. Allowing the spaciousness of the breath practices that we've already done to integrate and nourish your body. And there's nothing for you to even do to make that happen. It just will happen if you allow as much ease as possible. Allow some letting go. Going into the I don't know with no need to clasp onto anything, right? Just being able to just be. Allowing yourself to discover this moment in your body as if it's a brand new moment without a million stories behind it, as if it's just awareness dropping into right now without a whole history of the universe behind it, but like you just landed in the water of this moment and you're discovering it with curiosity. Without preconceived notions, without a plan. Total musical change into Michel Ayello. Maybe much more structure and form in this music. Let it inform you. Just giving yourself a little bit of time to come in for a landing. Sometimes if we do get really deep into somatic practices or meditation, like we need to sort of have some time before we go out into the world. Like it's not always the wisest thing to go drive a heavy vehicle. Like you can think of it kind of like taking um, a medication that like calms you down so much, it might not be the place to go charging around from. So always make sure that you give yourself a little bit of time in between going in and coming back out. And I just want to say something that I think is really interesting, and that is that like the pattern of who we are is really stored in our nervous system and in our fascia. But when people are put under general anesthesia, like their whole body relaxes. Like they can do things that would be absolutely impossible if their consciousness was connected to them, to their body, right? If the consciousness was online. So like I know people have had massive injuries and they've been in a cast for a long time or something, and then when they're awake, it's as hard as a rock, it doesn't move. But then if they've been put under general anesthesia, it's totally mobile, right? So just to bear that in mind, that whatever we're holding within ourselves is very much connected to our consciousness and our conception of ourself. So there are other ways of being, and even people that have like multiple personalities, usually their embodiment of each personality is incredibly different. So it's not to say you're going to lose who you were if you gain some more spaciousness in being you, right? It's not like, oh, suddenly I could do the splits or whatever, like some other thing. Or maybe it will, who knows, but just giving ourselves the understanding that also we can't really help it that much, right? We're not trying to hold this tension. Like sometimes when people say, oh, just relax, it's like, wow, that actually adds tension. Or sometimes when people want you to do a breath practice, it's like, oh, this is hard. This is weird. This is making me uncomfortable. So the key is not to have everything be perfect or have everything be easy and loosey-goosey all the time. It's just to notice what's happening in your nervous system when anything happens. Like, oh, this is really amping me up, or this is really calming me down. And then to be able to use those tools to navigate your life in a more skillful way. That is the great moment of speaking that was just coming up for me. So I'm going to end the live stream. And I think I have one person watching, maybe two. So if you survived the whole time with us, thank you so much. I am in the Zoom room with at least one other person. You could join sometime.